Well, happy anniversary, darling.
Happy anniversary.
Well, it's like yesterday, but it is 25 years today.
Yeah.
I can just remember it like yesterday. Me waiting for you at the registry. We had a registry marriage,
Yeah. You
and
think I wasn't going to turn up?
yes, I was thinking you were not going to turn up because you were late. I found out later on that it's customary for the lady to be late,
Mm-hmm.
but my elder brother was just having me go and say, she's done a run and she ain't turning up. But it was fun. It
Yeah.
was fun. It turned up and it turned up to be, it was a small wedding.
Yeah.
It was a small wedding just among friends and family.
Yeah.
It was a small wedding, but beautiful wedding.
Yeah. Maybe we should tell them slightly just how we met, in the sense that we.
Yes, I think people just know how we met, just where we're coming from.
Yeah.
Um, I'll tell my. You want to tell your? I'll tell
Well,
my
it's a
side.
long story. Should we do a short?
We do a short version.
Yeah.
On my side, I was that day.
Short version.
First version, yes. I was just going absolutely. Being a preacher, I have a long version of things. That day, I was heading up to one of my projects I had in my mind to do with computers, and I was going up. I believe it was in. I believe in I think September or August. I can't remember the
I think
exact.
it's August.
It's August. It's
Yeah.
August. The exact date. We've been trying to get the exact date, and we didn't want to say the
Yeah.
wrong date, but it was in August, and I was there, and I was walking toward the streets of Lewisham.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed now a little bit, and we walked. I walked down there, and the Lord spoke to my heart, said, "Look at that woman in front of you." And I said, "Oh God, I don't want to start looking at women. Look at that woman in front of you." So my eyes zeroed on you, and I could see you from behind. It was your back I saw,
Yeah.
and I said, "The God said that's your wife." But the thing, I said, "Wow, thank God!" I was saying that in my heart. We're having this conversation, and I said, "That's nice. And let's just go meet. Let me just this is my wife, so it's going to happen somewhere." No, God said, "You're going to go and tell her that you're my wife." I said, "Uh-huh." I said, "Maybe they will arrest me now because I'm just going to tell somebody you're my wife. That's like stalking, harassment. Tell me about it." So I went down there, and I followed you into the Elysium Library, and you now noticed I was following you, and you said, "Excuse me, what are you following me for?" So my first thing was, "Where's the computer place?" I asked you about the computer place, and you told me, but you were not really convinced about the answer I gave. So I said, "Excuse me, madam, I'm not going to." I called you madam. I said, "Excuse me, madam, I'm not going to beat around the bush, but you can call the police. It's all in your right to do so if you want to, and or you can hit me in the face. Whatever you need to do is well in your right to do so."
Yeah.
But God told me that you are my wife.
Yeah.
Just in the street like that. That was how I mustered that courage and told you that. So,
Yeah.
and we walked. The rest. I believe. Let's hear your part before I go to the rest part.
Yeah, I suppose because I was going to Lewisham to sort out some things, and I suppose I've been saved a year before that. So, meeting, I knew he was following me into the library, and I was wondering why he was following me. But then, as I came out of the library and he approached me, I was like, okay, what is this? So when he says to me, "God says you're my wife," I knew God was speaking because, for one, he didn't know I was a Christian. So I knew there was something in it. So I just started to listen to him. And as we talked, then God said to me, "Trust me." So, yeah, it was experience, because I remember even just before meeting him, I just felt like a praise in my heart. I just wanted to sing and thank God, but I didn't know why I was feeling like that. But I wanted to actually express a praise to God on the street, and I couldn't understand why I was feeling like that. But then,
did you have a dream? Was there a dream before that day?
There was a dream.
Yeah. So
that
morning,
morning,
people can understand the concept that it wasn't that you just.
Yeah, but the dream was. I suppose the dream was I actually was shot in my dream.
Okay.
And I woke up out of my dream and I said, "Devil, you didn't shoot me. You shot the old Sandra." And I just got up and I just, because I was very sort of, I had that sort of faith in God and that boldness, and I knew God was alive and I knew God was real, and I was saved for a year and I was on fire for God. So everything about what the enemy will try and do to me, it wasn't significant. So that was, and after that dream, I left the house and I went to Lewisham, and that's when I met my
And
husband.
you were going to go somewhere else, but you were told to go towards
Yeah,
Lewisham.
God told me to go because I was actually going to go to my pastor and ask him about the dream because it was very strange of me being shot in the dream, but then God says, no, I don't want you to go. I want you to go and sort out your administration for my renting accommodation. So then I said, okay, God, I'll go and sort that out. And that's when I remember actually crossing the road in God saying to me in going in Lewisham, cross the road. And as I crossed the road, I heard, right, don't go to the office where I was going to sort out my accommodation. And I was crossing the road, but I wasn't sure where I was going. So that's why I end up seeing this person looking at me, and I end up walking into the library because I was actually now confused where God was taking me to.
Yeah.
So that's how it was.
Because you were then renting with hide housing.
That's right.
Hide housing, because in London, if you are not listening from there, in London you have the council and you have people that have the sub council contracts. So
Yeah.
you were renting for the sub council contract. Part of the procedure that you have to go there every other time, sort out your rent.
Yeah.
Because this thing. So the other thing that we want to tell people is that not everybody's one will be like this.
No.
Not every marriage
Yeah.
will be like this. Not everybody will meet somebody on the road and you just think it in your head, God said.
Yeah.
Now, we take that word God said very seriously over our course of life, because we've noticed people before that because when they heard our testimony, they now went and said God said, and it was a lie.
Yeah. So, it's a serious thing when you say God said. You don't just say it or you do it because you feel that you want to marry to this person and nobody else is accepting it, but you want to accept it and now say God said. It's very, very serious thing if you say something like that. But God spoke to me in my heart, and God spoke to my husband,
and you questioned it, because I remember when I left you that day, after we spoke, we spoke for about, because after we left because I took you down to, hello, nobody should laugh about this now. I took you down to the first place. I said, can I just buy you a cup of coffee? Yeah. And the closest place to the Lewisham Library was McDonald's.
Yeah, that was my first date. McDonald's, by the way.
McDonald's. It was McDonald's. And it was McDonald's, and we went down to McDonald's, and I bought you the cup of coffee because it wasn't food. You didn't want to, you just wanted to ask me questions. And you asked me who I was, where I was from, how old I was, everything. It was kind of okay. Then we began to walk towards your place, because you lived about 30 minutes walk from where we met that day. And when we walked up to there, we walked up to the place, because people should know about, there is a proof to know is God or not. There will be a proof.
Yeah.
So we walked to your place, and you told me to wait outside, that you can't come to my place. You went to your place, I forgot what you got, then you came back downstairs.
Yeah, I actually went to speak to God, and then I came back.
Okay. Now you're here and say, God, what is this? So you want to speak to God?
Yeah.
You want to pray a bit? You needed much prayer. Marrying me, all much prayer. So, and we walked up to your mom's house.
Yeah, which was
about
3-4 minutes.
3-4 minutes from your house. Yeah. So then you knocked the door, and your younger sister opened the door.
Yeah.
And what did your younger sister say when you opened the door? And I was standing
there. When I opened the door, as she opened the door, she says, "That's your husband." And we just started to laugh, and my mum was there, and she says, "Yes," in a Jamaican way, because by the way, she's Jamaican. He's from Nigeria, and I'm a Caribbean island.
Okay.
But my mum said in the Jamaican thing, she says she wanted to say it before my sister, but my sister said it quickly.
Yeah.
So that was a confirmation. And then we sort of left there. We had a talk, we chat with my mom and my sister.
I didn't go into the house. They just chatted with me outside. Yeah.
And then we walked down we
walked away from your mom's house.
Yeah.
And we crossed the road, and we saw my elder sister.
Yeah, down from to Deptford. Yeah.
Yeah, down to Deptford. Yeah. And they took us down to my eldest older sister.
Yeah.
Which now said, my sister, when we got in the car, and she now said, "Where have you been hiding her?" because prior to this, my family was saying he has no girlfriend, he has no nothing. We are concerned. They were concerned that I didn't have any girlfriend, nobody at all, and like, hello, you must get married now. So you are in your late 20s now, so you must get married. And so, but that didn't bother me because I knew, I prayed to God. I said, God, I'm not going to go into rush into this marriage thing because it's real.
Yeah.
It's something that is going to be for life. So I was willing to wait for what God had to do in my heart. And when we got to my sister's place, she now said, if you let this girl go, you are in trouble because this is the first person you've introduced us to. So all those were confirmation. And the last confirmation we had was, we now said, okay, this is going a bit fast for me and you as well.
Yeah.
We now said, I now told you, I said, I'll give you 3 days to go pray about it, to talk to God about it.
Yeah.
If it is God that is saying this, then we'll go with it. But I'll give you 3 days. And must I say, were those the longest 3 days of my life? I was waiting by the phone. Anybody calls me, I tell them, excuse me, don't call me back later. Well, I'm waiting on the call. I couldn't tell anybody what call I was waiting for because it had to be with God. And I was really, really tormented. How did your 3 days go?
Well, it's funny because I was just thinking about the 3 days, and I was thinking how I had counsel from my auntie, very special auntie, my auntie Millicent. And, she was encouraging me and saying, listen, this is God. Someone doesn't just come to you on the street and, say to you, God says you're my wife. So we, me and my auntie, we spoke, and we were like she just really, really encouraged me, that this is God, So it was a time of sort of thinking about things and reflecting and knowing that God is saying in my heart, trust me, this is me,
I think that's one of the things I want to tell people today who are really, maybe they've not just met the way we met.
Yeah.
They've been around there for a long time, but there's still that doubt in their heart to saying whether we should do this or not. I want to say something. Don't listen to other people's opinion. Listen to what God is saying in your heart.
Yeah.
You've already seen what God was saying in your heart.
Yeah.
You just went to ask if somebody else will confirm it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you were asking for their opinion.
No.
I think that one should be stressed out.
Yeah.
You were not asking for their opinion. And some people, because of their experience, I said it last on one of my streaming that experience, they say experience is the best teacher. That's not a true statement. Because you may have a bad experience. Some people have experience whereby their mother and father is not married. Or they married, they got divorced. So that is not a good teacher for them because their experience is becoming negative. So, go ahead,
Yeah, because some families, some people grow up in families where there's domestic violence, where there's the home is in turmoil, and so they feel that they can't go ahead and marry. They have that fear of marrying. Will it work out like this? Will it work for me? Or so they have that sort of negative story. It's a true story, but it's a negative story that's played or molded them to think that marriages don't work. But you have to look at it and say, if God is telling me that this is my wife or my husband, then I just go and trust God and go with it, believing that God is in this marriage and will make it work.
It brings me to another thing in which I believe we got married 6 weeks later.
Yeah.
Actually, after we met 6 weeks later. And one of the things in that time, we didn't have a lot of money. I was still in university. I was going to university and working at the same time. And we were just really we done something. We went according to what we had.
Yeah.
We went according to what we had. People done some dinners, people done some family members contributed on things. Then it was a small wedding, but it was a beautiful one.
Yeah.
I think people should know that. Now, we are not against, so I'm really up for very elaborate and lavish wedding. In fact, the first wedding in the Bible that Jesus went to they ran out of wine. That
Mm.
tells me there was a lot of people in it.
Yeah.
So God is not against big weddings. God is not against elaborate weddings. Then, well, I believe you should do it according to the funds in which you have,
Yeah.
not the fact that you want to please other people and show off to them that, oh, this wedding is like this. I don't think that's really necessary.
Yeah.
Because you're not marrying them, you are marrying who you are going to be. You are going to be with. So we just wanted to bring that in and just bring it to people that this is where we started from,
Yeah.
and how things went. So one of the first things I'm just going to ask is, how did our first year go? I'm going to go for how did our first year go?
Mm-hmm.
How was our first year of marriage? Wow.
Do you remember that?
I remember that because it was a wonderful time of me adjusting into the fact that I'm now married.
Yeah.
I don't forget that one of the funny ones was it was a funny one. When we just got married, I went into the bathroom and I
To have a
locked
bath.
to have a bath. So I locked the door. We're living. I was living in the flat. Then we only had one bathroom. So my wife was knocking and said, "You know what? I know you are in the shower, but I need to use the toilet."
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Why? Why can't you just wait? I'm in the shower." He said, "No, I want to use the bathroom." I said, then something knocked in my head. "Hello, she's your wife. You're now married." I said, "Oh, okay." So I opened the door because I was trying to adjust into my mind that we're married now.
Mm.
So that year, the first year was an adjustment for me. And one of the good things that I want to say about the first year is the fact that I quickly realized that my culture will not work with you.
Yeah.
And I want to say that my culture will not work. What I mean by that, I'm a Nigerian originally, and my wife is from St. Lucia. The father is St. Lucian and the mother is Jamaican.
Mm.
So I'm a Nigerian, both my mom and dad are Nigerians. And I realized that what I saw in the Nigerian culture of what marriage was will not work in this home. It will not work in this home. But I also realized something. Even if she was Nigerian, whatever we saw before will not work in our home because our home is unique. Our home is new.
Yeah.
Our home has its own culture.
Yeah.
And the culture of our home, which is the culture of which should be on everybody's home, was the culture of love.
Yeah. Because I decided that as well, that the culture where I come from is not going to work in our marriage, and so we said, you know what, let's be the culture, God culture, because that's the only way we're going to be successful, and not bringing our own cultures and infringing and saying like, no, it has to go this way or it has to go that way. We had to come together in a unity, which is God's love, and say no, let God be the center of it. So
that was it.
Where maybe on a Sunday, Jamaicans, they make sure they have their rice and peas. It's a culture, you enjoy your rice and peas on a Sunday, and you have certain things that you do as a Caribbean, and that was like, no, I have to throw that out the window and come together with my husband, and we agree with what we want in our home. And that was very important for the first year of our marriage.
And I think that rice and peas one was something in which you threw out the window, first of all, because when we first got married, I wasn't used to the dark gravy, the black, but I liked it. You made it so well. I said, wow, because I come from whereby they make very red stew and things. But the dark gravy, I had to get used to it. Then another thing was the way you cooked your chicken. The way you cooked the chicken was different from the way I was used to.
Yeah.
But I told myself, this is not a Nigerian house. So I must not have Nigerian meals. My father learned me something which I never forget. My father said this to me when I was young. He said, if you don't cook the food, never complain about it. I took that literally. I never saw one day that my father complained about a meal that was cooked to him. The only thing my father will tell you he doesn't like is salt. My father doesn't like the meal to have too much salt.
Yeah, nor do you.
I don't like salt. He doesn't like the thing to have too much salt, but he never complained about the food. And I believe what we just said today, this makes some families. I've seen some people who are multiculturally married.
Yeah.
They break up because they think this person couldn't do this or this person couldn't do that. you're not married to that culture, you're married to that person.
Yeah.
I know the two cultures will meet because we want to talk about that in a little while. The two cultures should meet, but you're not married to that culture. You're married to this person.
That's right. And it's not that we don't make our culture food, we do, but we make it in, we make it when we feel like eating stuff like that. It's not that we have to eat stuff like that. We make that choice, so that it's not rigid in how we live. So, and our children have they have the
two sides.
The two
sides. Like I make jollof rice. I must say, Mommy, thank you very much for that's my mom. She came one time to visit us from America when she came, and she was just really telling me, "You're cooking it the wrong way," because I used to do it in my style, but that's what I thought it was done. And she said, "No, this is how you make the meal," and she taught that way. So I make that one, and I make sometimes pepper soup. And I'm not saying it because you're sitting down here. My wife, one of the best cooks ever. She I don't miss any of my Nigerian meals for the past 25 years. I don't miss them at all. When I go to my family place, my sisters, I do eat the Nigerian food, but sometimes it's no longer tasting the way it should. I believe God just helped me on that one and really restructured my taste palette. Haven't said so. My wife can cook, but amongst food, I would say my wife will go just number two. It's a slight number two. It's a slight number two. I've tasted your mom's meal.
My mom's very, very
she's
good.
Yep. She's good.
And she made sure she trained us from age 11. You were cooking, so my mom is very, very good at cooking.
And I want to say that don't allow food. I just want to conclude with this.
Yeah.
Don't allow food and what it is you're rigid to spoil your relationship. Marriage can work. I've seen homes. I've been a pastor now for over 30 years. I've seen homes whereby things are destroyed because they said you didn't cook, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Come to an agreement whereby you walk in something. I remember one guy, just the story now. So we're doing counseling, and this is what they said. They lived in Europe. They didn't live in Nigeria. They were both Nigerians. And this was one of the things they said, how dare this woman do this? The woman cooked his meal and put it in the microwave. He was angry that the food was put in the microwave. Why wasn't the food cooked from the pot waiting for him when he comes back? The woman said, you come back in a different time of the day. I'm already retired from the kitchen at that time when you come. But your meal has been prepared and it's in the microwave. And that caused trouble. Some of you might be laughing or might be relating to this, but that caused trouble for what? Just because you put the food in the microwave? What if you had a meal?
Yeah. You
had a meal. So I believe that as we go along today, this is one of the first videos. Then we don't want the videos to be too long.
No.
And we're going to conclude on this video here. And we're going to post another video then sometime later on. So it's going to be a series of videos. But we hope and we want to tell you something. Marriage do work.
Yes.
Marriage do work. Don't listen to a lot of rubbish from the television, from people or tell you marriage don't work. It's a lie. Marriage do work. So from us, me and Sandra, happy anniversary, and we want to just bless people and tell them that their marriages will work too in Jesus' name. Amen. Any final words?
Thank you for listening. And I think in this course of what we're doing, I believe simplicity of your home, simplicity of the way you live is the best way. And we'll talk about that in the next time we meet.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.